Chael Sonnen has never needed a microphone to ignite controversy, but this time he found fertile ground in Islam Makhachev's rumored jump to welterweight. Chael framed the move as a sign of cowardice, a slap that echoed through MMA media in minutes. Islam's clap back on X wasn't your typical counter trash talk. It was a surgeon's cut. Chasing hype and money is not the same as chasing greatness. Sit and watch how real champions do it, Uncle Kyle. Sonnen's reply video tried on multiple personas: guardian angel, elder brother, even self-appointed avenger, before settling on an ominous promise. If I want your opinion, kid, I'll beat it out of you. So, who's right? In one corner, a two-division dreamer daring to cement GOAT status by seizing a second belt. In the other, a master provocateur challenging that dreamer's very backbone. Every syllable drips with meta stakes: legacy, money, division logjam, and the age-old question: does moving up prove bravery or dodge danger? But that verbal firefight was only the opening salvo. Reality show set, late night, informal sparring for the cameras. Sounds harmless until you remember Nate Diaz never arrives to anything half-hearted. When young prospect Zik playboxed with Nate on the ALF set, an old beef with Russian fighters came roaring back. Within seconds, Jake Shields ate a head kick, Nate started swinging, and Jon Jones, trying to keep the peace, jumped into the maelstrom. Jones later painted the scene for Red Corner MMA. Half the room carries old-school samurai codes. The other half comes in with Street Fighter instincts. Mash that volatility with live cameras, and you get insults, flying fists, even talk of weapons. Jones's takeaway? There's nothing like this show. It doesn't respect the quiet honor lines that once defined the gym. The brawl did more than bruise egos. It reminded fans that even in play, reputations slice like razor wire, and the most innocent tap spar can spiral into headline-splitting mayhem in the blink of a camera light. Yet the chaos of a backstage scrap can feel tame once you hear what legends endure inside the cage. Henry Cejudo's fresh loss by technical decision reignited a long-simmering grievance: the dreaded eye poke. Joining Rampage Jackson on his podcast, Cejudo described blurry vision, pay cuts looming, and the gut-level fear of letting down a legacy because a stray finger robbed him of sight. Rampage shook his head. He'd seen this horror show in 2011 against Jon Jones, and even drilled poke defense in camp, yet still couldn't escape those reaching digits. The segment crystallized a seldom-spoken truth. Fighters train for guillotines and elbows but can't truly drill for a split-second puncture that might end a career. The unified rules tinker, refs warn, but inside the octagon, eye safety remains Russian roulette. Except the bullet is a fingertip and the chamber spins every time a hand extends. Still, technical fouls pale next to the chess match, brewing at the very summit of two divisions. On the West Sports Show, Jack Della Maddalena dissected Islam Makhachev with surgeon-like calm. Islam, he argued, is a sleeker single-stance upgrade of Bilal Muhammad. Less switching, more straight-line pressure, and a gravity-well top game that suffocates mistakes. JDM vowed to rewatch every scrap, map every takedown angle, and, here's the kicker, start camp now, months before any contract ink dries. The subtext? A welterweight outsider who believes meticulous prep melts pound-for-pound mystique. It's Rocky versus math. Della Maddalena. Turning fight footage into predictive data sets while Islam's aura looms like an algorithm nobody's cracked. Every minute of tape study doubles as a warning. For Makhachev, complacency is death. For JDM, obsession might be destiny. But not all greatness debates orbit future clashes. Some perch right here in legacy counted by scalps earned. Coach Tim Welch didn't mince words. Count the champions Merab Dvalishvili has crushed, then tell me he isn't the bantamweight GOAT. In a division defined by razor-thin margins, Merab's resume, champion after champion toppled, reads like a purge list. Welch's camp for Sean O'Malley's rematch leans on Murphy's Law. Train for the worst human grind imaginable. half-guard purgatory, fence pressure, lungs ablaze with lactic acid. Why the paranoia? Because the only thing scarier than Merab's cardio is his consistency. When a coach calls someone the greatest ever while preparing his own star to meet that beast, fans perk up. O'Malley Merab. 2 now carries the scent of an era-defining verdict. Pure volume wrestling versus sniping precision? GOAT talk versus highlight reel swag. Meanwhile, the odds makers threw their own grenade into the championship conversation. Mateusz Gamrot strolled onto Ariel Helwani's show with zero patience for what he sees as Paddy Pimblett's shortcut rise. Calling Paddy arrogant and protected, Gamrot demanded a grappler versus grappler collision that would crown Europe's true lightweight beacon. Gamrot's storyline is rife with friction. He's fresh off a tight loss, hungry to rebuild, and eyeing an opponent dripping social capital, but, for now, unproven against elite wrestlers. For fans, it's irresistible math. Combine Paddy's star magnetism with Gamrot's scramble-heavy style, and you get about primed to be either highlight heaven or hype train derailment. Still, personal beefs fade compared to a title picture that just got flipped like a poker table. Movsar Evloev thought undefeated dominance would earn him Volkanovski next. Instead, rumor mill says Volk might rematch Yair Rodriguez, while Evloev accepts a 5-round test against Aaron Pico. The domino effect raced through social. Aljamain Sterling called it fascinating. Another fan threatened Dana White with digital pitchforks, and comment sections erupted with chants of lazy matchmaking. Gene Silva, watching the chaos, positioned himself brilliantly. Call out Diego Lopez, predict Evloev's stumble and angle for the belt once featherweight dust settles. Whether prophecy or marketing, Silva's play capitalizes on the confusion. And confusion is the one commodity this division suddenly owns in spades. But confusion can't eclipse one declaration that detonated across heavyweight land. Tom Aspinall voiced plain frustration at waiting nearly a year as interim champ. He insisted he doesn't care about fighting Jon Jones so long as he becomes undisputed. Jones's reply was blisteringly simple. Shut your mouth and do as you're told. In 10 words, the king re-established the throne line. The exchange underscores heavyweight's awkward dance. An injured goat holding gold, an interim lion pacing the cage, and a UFC eager for spectacle yet fearful of pushing too hard. Fans may sympathize with Aspinall, but history suggests Jones negotiates on one wavelength, his own. Every tweet is a move in a longer chess game. Keep leverage, dictate timing, preserve mystique. And with goats, prospects, and matchmakers all flexing, how does any of this resolve? If one theme ties this feverish week together, it's friction. Friction between ambition and opportunity. Between hype and doubt. Between what fighters want and what the UFC machine decides they get. Sonnen and Makhachev argue over the real meaning of courage. Jones referees a reality show brawl only to silence a heavyweight heir. Champions in waiting see golden doors slammed, while odds makers and coaches rewrite predictions on the fly. Yet in that stress lies MMA's secret electricity. The sharper the clash, the brighter the spark of greatness that can erupt at any moment. Maybe Merab proves unbreakable. Maybe Paddy silences Gamrot. Maybe odds makers eat crow when Duplessis shocks the world. And somewhere beyond the horizon, another headline already brews, ready to shove today's drama into yesterday's archives. So whether you're team legacy, team hype, or just addicted to unforgettable chaos, remember, in this sport, the story never ends. It just resets with higher stakes. Keep those notifications on because the next twist is always one tweet away.